Your ambition, if you have any sense, should be to become competent. Do you want to be competent and dangerous, or vague and useless? There is no more exceptional form of the capacity to be dangerous than to be articulate. Becoming articulate is a moral endeavor. It means mastering your own tongue. Every advantage comes with a disadvantage. If you're extroverted, you're social and positive, but also impulsive and potentially hedonistic, and you may struggle with being alone. No matter your temperament, you'll have your own faults and temptations. When you set a goal and move toward it, obstacles will arise. Some you won't want to face. That's why it's useful to order your room. A chaotic room creates anxiety because it offers too many pathways. People don't repress the things they don't want to face. They just fail to unpack them. You want a horizon of ever expanding possibility. We're built to walk uphill. When we reach a pinnacle, we stop to enjoy the view, but we always seek a higher hill in the distance. You must beware of unintended consequences. It's naive to think something will do only what you want and nothing else. What we want from each other at its core is truth, and pursuing that is the true adventure of life. Being truthful, especially in the beginning, means confronting your inadequacies with humility. It's painful but necessary. Without truth, you don't get the adventure of your life. You get the role you've acquiesced to, which drains life of meaning. It's good to take your place in the world. Have ambition, a vision, a goal, and a strategy. Try to be a good person, not out of duty, but because that's the proper way to live. You can sit on your bed and ask, what's one thing I'm doing wrong that I know I could fix? Meditate on that. You'll get an answer. You grow in proportion to the weight you voluntarily take on, and there may be no upper limit to that growth. It's from the uphill climb that we derive value. This is a technical truth. Almost all positive emotion, especially enthusiasm, is experienced in relation to a goal. That might sound frustrating, like Sisyphus pushing a rock uphill, but it's not. As you pursue that goal, you become more whole, and your life becomes better, richer, more abundant. The highest levels of virtue and aspiration are by nature transcendent. They must be above everything else, so you can continually reach for something more sublime. You are here to live, not to sleep. The idea of eternal rest, margaritas on the beach, is a fantasy of drugged unconsciousness. It works for a week, but soon you'll be a laughingstock, depressed, aimless, and without direction. You don't want to be a giant infant with a golden bottle lying on your back forever. You want to be an active warrior, climbing uphill with your sword in hand. That's dynamic and exciting. People fear truth because it often creates conflict. But telling the truth is an adventure, as is simply saying what you think and seeing what happens. You don't know what the outcome will be, but you trust that the truth will produce the best possible outcome, even if it's painful in the short term. This belief is an article of faith that the being you produce by telling the truth is good, even if it's harsh and uncomfortable. There is a deep connection between aspiration and responsibility. You must aspire to something, otherwise you do nothing, and doing nothing leads to death. So you must act. Toward what? That's your aspiration. Your aim should be something worthwhile. You judge others positively when you see them taking responsibility for themselves, their families, and their communities. That's the kind of life worth living. Responsibility gives life meaning. Without aspiration, there's no hierarchy of values, and without that, life loses its significance. If you reject hierarchies entirely, you destroy aspiration and leave people aimless. But we are built for struggle, for bearing weight. You should voluntarily shoulder a heavy burden and test yourself. See what you can become while you're alive. This is an all-in game, so it better be worth playing. It took me a long time to understand that belief regulates emotion. When you act on your identity and your beliefs and fail to achieve what you want, your body prepares for emergency action. You've strayed too far from safety. You're naked in the forest. When you don't know what to do, you prepare to do everything, and that's exhausting and painful. There's extensive literature showing how draining this emergency state is. We prefer to stay where our actions yield predictable results. That's why shared cultural norms matter. They reduce uncertainty. Too much unpredictability is damaging because we are vulnerable. We can be hurt, damaged, made anxious, and ultimately we can die. So yes, we are deeply sensitive to negative emotion. That's part of what makes being human so difficult and so meaningful.